Jana, welcome to Daily Blast Live. You are part of the Tegna family. We are so happy to have you on. Take us back. I want you to describe that battle that was going on in your mind all those years when you were fighting against being your true self. Did you feel like two different people?
Yeah, I recall something somebody said about me recently, and that there was kind of a tale of two me's. And that really was true. And I think that that can be true for a lot of people. You know, I hope that my story comes across to most people as something that's in every person's story. It's not just because I'm gay. It's not because I'm female. Any person can have a story about becoming who they are.
Wow.
And for me, I knew very early on what I wanted to do in terms of a career. I fell in love with this idea that you could just ask questions of people and get interesting answers. And so I pursued it. And that kind of blind ambition really kind of overshadowed the fact that I didn't learn quickly enough, I guess, that women might have to adhere to an unspoken dress code.
Wow.
I know you know that. Every woman in this business knows that. And so, and all of us kind of went on that journey, right? I mean, you knew what we were supposed to look like, and so you kind of did that. It would be no different than joining the baseball team and saying, this is the uniform. Nobody has to tell you that. It's just the way it is. So I quietly accepted that as a truth. And again, as a rule, I would follow too. And so I didn't really internalize how harmful that was to me until it went on for years and years and years. And people, my friends and loved ones, would notice that I looked very different when I wasn't on the air. We all do, right? You know, you're going to wear a sweatsuit on your day off.
Yeah, I'm in a drawstring, sweatpant.
Exactly. But for me, it was so much so that no one would even recognize me because I have naturally curly hair. I would let it be what it is. When I wasn't working, I would dress in a more androgynous style. That is something that reflects who I am on the inside. It's just how I feel more comfortable. And then when Monday would roll around, you know, I would open that other side of the closet and put on the clothes that I believed were the clothes that I had to wear to be able to be in this industry.
It's interesting for you that closet has two different meanings, right? Coming out of the closet and clothing with closet. How interesting for you. How did you push past that? And was someone there to help you? Like, how did you decide, I'm just doing this? I'm gonna wear what I feel like.
It came about, you know, serendipitously and totally by accident. When we decided, or our company decided, to start Breaking the News, which was going to be a news show that did things a little bit differently.
Right.
We went into rehearsals. And so I went off the air. I'd been a general assignment reporter for 20 years almost at that point, 15 of them at KARE 11. And so when we went off the air, because I was off the air, I was showing up to rehearsals looking like this. And some of the people that were involved in those rehearsals were not from KARE 11. They were producers from other parts of the country.
And they dig it,
And one of those producers, named Stephanie Eno, said to me in the night before the show, I started to get concerned that I was going to have to go back to that other side of the closet. And that was kind of a bummer because I felt really free to be creative when we were making up this show in my own clothes. And she just very matter-of-factly said, why would you do that? And
wow,
I very
simple.
matter-of-factly said to her, like, because.
Wow.
And she, with utter confidence and grace, said, I think you should be who you are.
Wow.
And so I did. And I don't think it would have happened if she hadn't had said that. And the co-host that I was working with at that time was like a sister to me. Her name is Rena. And she gives me the confidence that a big sister does.
Wow.
I knew if I was myself next to her, I would be safe.
Wow.
And this whole journey over the last few weeks of people asking me about it, I've really come to recognize those incredible supporters and teachers I had along the way. And this story is their story too.
Wow. Just full disclosure, we're owned by the same parent company, Tegna.
Yeah.
I'm proud that they're allowing you to be your true self. And then it took such a simple sentence, but in that sentence, that's so complicated. So the first show, you wore a David Bowie shirt, your natural curly hair and glasses. I want to know who your fashion icons are. Where did you get this? Because you're not a typical anchor, let's be honest. Who are your fashion icons?
You know, it's Ellen DeGeneres.
Yes, girl.
I mean, and for so many reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, she's taught me so much in my journey and just in life in general.
Yeah.
You know, she was a person before many people who decided to say, I'm gay, and she lost everything when she made that. And now she's America's sweetheart, which is a beautiful story. And it doesn't end up like that for a lot of people. But Ellen having the courage to be who she is in a time where it was not widely accepted is a strength that I am just so in awe of. Wow. And then, you know, now, you know, she makes America laugh. She makes America feel. She makes America feel like a pretty great place.
Yeah.
And she does so with amazing clothes. So, wow. And it wasn't just, I want to be Ellen. I don't want to confuse that. I want to be myself. But when I saw Ellen, I saw, I think, what a lot of women might see when they look at magazines and they see pretty dresses and earrings and shoes. That's what I see when I look at Ellen.
Interesting.
And so it's the same thing. It's just a different style.
Yeah, it's just a totally different
style. First and foremost, Ellen, I love men's clothing. I read GQ religiously.
Nice.
I think it's so interesting, and especially now where men are taking more chances with their fashion and expressing themselves. I think that's awesome. So I kind of pick and choose.
Yes.
I mean, I'm usually like tweens, like Harry Styles, Cole Sprouse.
Nice.
I can't say his name, Timothée Chalamet, or am I probably saying that wrong?
No, I got you. I feel you. That guy.
Yeah, those kinds of things. I mean, Prince, because I'm from Minneapolis, did things that I thought were really incredible. I don't know that I could go that far, but, you know, really being themselves. And the David Bowie thing, the reason why that I wore that shirt that day is because he died overnight.
Wow.
The night before our first show.
Wow.
And David Bowie.
Wow. Yeah, he was very androgynous in his clothing and the makeup. I mean, way ahead of his time,
Talk about people who did it before anyone else and without apology.
There you go.
David Bowie was, you know, a bat signal to me.
Wow, what a good way of saying that. That's amazing. Ellen DeGeneres made me a stand-up comic because of her comeback stand-up. So I totally agree with you. What advice would you give to your younger self? Give me a sentence as simple as Stephanie gave to you. What would you say to yourself if you could?
At this point in my life, I don't want to rewrite history because my pain is a part of my journey.
Good point. Great point.
Someone pointed out to me, so when I was 14 or 15, I fell in love with this job because I watched SportsCenter for the very first time. It was when SportsCenter was in its infancy. And I said, I want to be that. And it was very plain and just that simple. And I knew it then, and it took almost 30 years for me to get back to my 14-year-old self.
Wow. Wow.
But I'm here now.
That's amazing.
Remember why you wanted to do something in the first place. Remember why you had that dream before anybody got in front of you with hurdles, and they will get in front of you with hurdles. Remember why you fell in love with what you wanted to do in the first place, whether that be art or music or journalism or serving your country. Remember why something inside of you said, go do that.
Wow. So it's almost like your 14-year-old self told your older self what to do. That's an incredible, incredible thing to think. Jana, I'm so proud to have you on our on Tegna and to be there. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. You are my essence of cool. You are my spirit animal. I'll be trying to dress menswear from now on. We'll see you
You're
soon.
amazing. Thank you for all the work you do, and thanks for this opportunity.
Thanks again. Appreciate it.